got our basic skills in. We got a sit stay, we got a recall. That's perfect, right? From there, we teach the down and the heel, right? Heel kind of uses what we've learned in recall, and down we use the idea of stay, which is pretty much the sit command. So the reason why this is important to do it in this order is because it's going to become obvious to the dog. If she's in a sit stay and I'm asking of something and it's not a recall, it makes it more obvious to her that it's a down. So that's why it'll happen a little bit more organically, all right? We'll be able to capture it because the dog will probably just offer it. Same with the heel, okay? So everything's very much, once you get that foundation, this is a very big foundation. Tell your dog to sit and stay, and they do, even with mild distractions at this point. Also, when she gets corrected, does she go back to a sit if she breaks that sit? And then can I get her to recall to another sit stay? And recall to another sit stay, right? That's the foundation. Stay and come. Right? Come. Good. Good girl. And then the stay is implied at this point with her, but in the beginning you obviously tell them to stay. So then I could obviously move around as I please, add little distractions in, and she's good. Next step, I'm going to teach her to down while she's in that sit stay. So if I step out from that heel position or from that recall position, she's in a sit, and I turn around and I go like this, I want her to down. Let's see how quick she can, or how well I can communicate that without her actually knowing what I'm saying. Maybe she does though, maybe she knows down, who knows? So she knows from here there's only one way out of here, two ways out of here, to the release word and then COME. So we're leveraging that, okay? Good. Oh, and another important thing is low pressure stim means, come on, try something, right? Like you haven't completed it yet. So here we go. Down. The reason I use the verbal is so that it's clear to her that I'm asking something. In that movement, good girl. In that moment of disengagement, that's when I click. Good girl. I'm rewarding. The click isn't for the down. It's not for not downing. It's for not paying attention. And then the good girl isn't for not downing. It's for paying attention. Okay. All I'm asking is she's trying to solve the problem. Down. Good girl. Why? Because she tried something. It was wrong. Down. Good girl. Now, if you're working with, I've been repeating this in the videos lately, if you're working with biting dogs, this is not the method for you. I'm too close with my hands and with my face. This is, if I know the dog and I know that, and I have the relationship with the dog, I can then get away from, I can get more intimate with the conversation. I can get closer to the face and stuff. Okay? Good girl. Besides, she's a sweetheart. Break. Good girl. Now watch, guys, because it's gonna happen quick where I'm fading all. Right now, I'm right up with her. Soon in this session, I'm gonna be feet away from her, standing up, asking her to down. Okay.
Good girl. That was so good. That was such a good job. That was nice. Good girl.
Yes. Okay. So we had a little celebration because we made it through that challenge. I'm going to present another challenge because that's what I have to do as a trainer. Good girl. Down. Good girl. That's nice. I'll take it. Good girl. I will take it. Break. Yay. Yay. It was a down. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it's headed in the right direction. We'll shape it as I go. I'll make sure to start saying yes and no to get it a little bit more of a drop rather than a couple feet of a walk. We don't want that. But the way I fix that is by the time I get out here and I start doing it, it's gonna be obvious to her. When she starts to walk towards me, I mark it as no. A few times of that, she'll start dropping it and I say yes. And this is how we're shaping it, okay? Now remember, we're not teaching her how to down. She already knows how to lay down. She's done it probably thousands of times already in her life, I would imagine. I'm just putting a word to it and body language and putting it on command, okay? So this isn't a new behavior for her. Good. Down. Down. Good. Another reason that's working, remember way back when she first started a few days ago? The sits were with that posture. So when I'm interacting with her like this and I'm asking for something else, my posture still says, don't come near me. Don't leave that position, or don't move, right? So I'm using all these little things that I taught her to kind of just get the message across real quick, what I need her to do. And sometimes it shits the bed and we have to just, muscle our way through it. But a lot of the times we get stuff like this, right? Where the dog's guessing, but guessing right. And then we're saying, yes, that guess was right, and it becomes their knowledge. Okay? Good. The problem with the force pressure down, if you don't know the dog very well, it can come across as confrontation right away. And unless you're looking to have that conversation, or there might be a time where you want to, it can, and usually does, bring that side out, where they kind of just stiffen up. So, good. Break. Good. Now, I didn't have to tell her to stay because, like I said, the whole program is a stay command or a recall, right? So it's sit, down, and place for our stay commands. Come and heel is basically a very long recall in a very specific position. If you recall your dog here and you're holding still, they will come to front and center. If you start walking away from them, they will find your left side and they'll hang out right in that heel position and they'll continue to follow you. So that's really it for these commands. It's very basic. It's 3 stay commands, a recall, and a walk. All right, and then the ability to continue to reinforce them and make sure you get them through corrections when needed. And you can also just stop unwanted behaviors, of course. But we find they fade right away without much effort put into stopping them, like jumping and counter surfing, all this stuff. Once you start living with your dog like this, I just don't think you're going to see them do it. And if they do, you correct it and it goes away. Good girl. Okay, so we're shaping that down. Right? We're building off from what we already have. Think of it as a snowball rolling down the hill, and by the time it gets to the end, it's going to be this huge, massive, beautiful thing that we did. But it starts off with just a snowflake. We build on top of each thing, okay? They're not separate anymore. We don't do it like that anymore, where we're teaching place over here and sit over here, and then we try to bring them all together. The way that we're doing it, it feels like they're all part of the same, what am I trying to say, Jules? Help me out here.
I know what you're trying to say, but you've brought in snowflakes and...
Oh yeah, I'm talking about snowflakes. No, they are built on top of one another. So you start with like the core foundation of just stay.
They're intertwined.
Okay? And then from stay branches out, sit down, and place, right?
You're braiding hair.
Of them understanding that they need to stay there. And then of course the recall is drop everything and come to you. And that's really what you need with a dog to live with them. You need to say, stay here and mind your own business and don't worry about other things. And then also, hey, get the heck over here. That's pretty much it. We add in a fancy little walk, and we add in a couple extra down stay commands, just to make sure that we're well-rounded, okay? But it's very, very basic. The rest is just saying no to stuff we don't like, and yes to things we do like. Come. Good girl. Yeah, that's the position, okay, if you're holding still. Now off from this, she hasn't done this yet either. Now off from the recall, I'm going to start asking for a heel. So I'm going to start walking, and she's going to say, what? You normally, when I recall, you're holding still, and I go here, what the heck what's going on? And I'm gonna start walking backwards so it looks like a recall, and she's gonna mess up. She's gonna try to stop. She's not gonna know to keep going until I stop and then stop with me. She's gonna learn that skill. And once she learns that skill, I'm just gonna turn around and we're pretty much going to have the beginnings of heel, okay? So that's what we mean by intertwined, is that they complement each other, and one skill, once learned, is the tool to help teach the next, okay? So, all right, so they use what they learn. Okay, here we go. Good girl, I wanna let you know that. Come. Good girl. Now watch this. Good girl. What the heck's going on? He's moving. Good. Deal with all sorts of stuff with this. Sniffing. Trying to stay within my long line. Good girl. That's what I'm looking for. Good girl. She's following. Nice. Good girl. Come. Nice. That's very nice. Good girl. Okay, this is the first one. I'll do a couple more with her to get her used to that idea. Because that concept right there is, you can see she's like, this is weird. I'm supposed to be stopping in front of you and you keep moving. She's going to get that in just a couple reps, and that will turn into the follow me or the heel. Good girl. Good girl. And what I like about this method is you can see everything the dog's doing. And you can also reach down and pet them. And then it does not even matter. Once the dog learns to follow by looking at your legs and looking at you, once you do this, you'd be surprised how they stay in that position. Okay? Come. That's a good girl. Look at you go. Good job. Nice. Good. Just a little moving back. Okay? Good girl. That was awesome. She's definitely in the classroom right now. She's paying attention. She's got that working mindset. No baloney. She's trying. She's with us. So anything I say to her right now is gonna stick. So I want to make sure I'm talking clearly to her. Okay? Good girl. Good girl. That's good. Come. Good. Good girl. Wow, look at that. Wow, good girl. Good job. Wow. And once we stop, no, don't worry about those little twirls and all that stuff. Once she understands it, that'll fade away. Good job. Stay. She knows. Okay, so let's talk about that commitment right there that we're seeing after almost a week here. She knows that what I'm going to ask her, and she also has already explored not listening in multiple ways. Stopping, going in the other direction, complaining, whatever. All the dogs do this. So then by the time we get here, they just know that there's no other option, and it's not that big of a deal because I'm going to pick you up in just a second, give you a pet, and continue. So that's what you're seeing right there. You're seeing, like, what's the point of even trying to be bad? I might as well just listen. And listening isn't so bad, right? And that's that flip. And we make sure we give her plenty of free time and fun time too, of course. But your dog needs to know how to do this when you ask them to. Come. That's my girl. Good job. Good. That beeps part of it. Good girl. I'm proud of you. Look at her look. Good girl. She's looking. She's learning. Good girl. Very nice. What'd I tell you? That all that spinning's gonna stop. Good girl. When she understands the purpose of what I'm asking her to do, what we're doing. We're just moving together and then we're stopping. That's all. And she's like, oh, okay. I get that little skill. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take it right as she's learning. Now I'm not gonna stick on this for a week, guys. This is it. I'm gonna turn around and do heel right now. And then we're gonna continue with heel as the days go on, but this is how I introduce it. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? I'm saying, hey, recall, let me use what you got going on to teach my command over here, right? Did I say that right, robbing Peter to pay Paul? I sure hope so. All right, but I'm gonna need my backpack because we're actually gonna be moving beyond this point. So, okay, so you just gotta learn, find the little bridges in between both commands, like I just did here. I found a way to connect them for her. Okay? Wonderful. On top of that, this walk is going to take place on a surface that feels entirely different. And then when she gets the idea of it, we'll come back to the surface that she associates with free time and not a tight little walk. And we'll teach her that it has to happen on this surface too, and then everything gets generalized. And obviously we go on trips to town and into the woods and all that. Break. Now, good girl, come. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Hi, honey.
Nice.
So all of that right there, she knows the conversation, but we're on a new surface, new sense right there. Instead of listening to me, the temptations got the best of her. That got corrected. She will remember that. Everything ended, meaning I stopped moving intentionally when she committed to my command. The reward is me just stopping asking her to recall, right? Because at this point she's got to think, she's making mistakes. But when she starts to say, I'm trying, and then I slow it down, make it obvious for her to get the answer right, and then I stop. Okay? So I'm constantly saying, try, just try, honey. Just give me your best, just give me your best. All right? And when she stops giving her best, that's when the punishment's applied, okay? You can see it. I mean, rewatch it. You watch it, just say, what's this done over here? Good. No. Down. Which one is it? Down. And then the correction. Or motivation, rather. Down. Okay. You notice this couple steps. I remedied that by backing up so our distance is still the same. Sometimes the dog will continue to walk at me and I'll keep asking for a down while we're walking, which is actually where I'll get to next as an exercise. We use what she learned with the follow as I back up, and I'll start telling her to down, but I don't stop backing up. And that teaches that down to stop moving, right? So all sorts of little tricks if we need to use them. Good girl. The cool part about training like this though, is that it can be difficult letting go of that leash because you want to make sure you're having control. It's letting them make choices, but being one step ahead of them so you still have control. That's really what it's about, okay? Kind of expecting the bad behaviors they're gonna do and already be ready for that, okay?